The following footage was taken on my last trip up to the hot zone, and this was done on the 28th through the 31st of October. And I wanted to share with you some of the color and beauty of the hot zone as the leaves turn color. Most of this footage was just me rolling down the road in the pickup truck and listening to the truck rattle. So I muted the sound out and wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about the giant jackrabbit that seems to be around the Show Low trailer. This trailer is out in the junipers, out in the boonies near Show Low, Arizona, and we have spotted this jackrabbit several times. It is pretty good sized rabbit. It's the biggest one that I have ever seen, and I've seen quite a few jackrabbits in my time. So why are we so interested in a giant jackrabbit? Well, there's a couple of reasons. For one, it's very unusual to see a rabbit that big. Plus, this area is full of coyotes. How can a rabbit live that long to get that big when there are so many coyotes in the area? And rabbits are coyotes' main food. Plus, there's the fact that there's a lot of local Native American folklore about giant rabbits and so forth, and we're finding more about that. So far, I've ran across two mentions of giant jackrabbits from the Native Americans that I know, and one of them is talking about a large creature that sometimes shows up that they see that is just a very giant sized jackrabbit, and the other one is the Skinwalker, but we'll be talking more about those later. But we're also getting lore from the other side of the house, which is the jackalope. Now, the jackalope is a mythical creature that it's basically a jackrabbit with deer horns on its head, and you've probably seen it on TV as a joke. Well, it's a possibility that these may not be a joke. There are some genetic diseases or alterations that can cause the rabbit, the large jackalope or large jackrabbit, to have horns. I've never seen one in real life. I've seen made up pictures and hoaxes and postcards and stuff like that. But up around Holbrook, Arizona, and some of the other surrounding cities like Winslow and so forth, the jackalope is quite popular in their lore. Another interesting sidelight is recently been found in Afghanistan, and that is a fanged deer. This deer was believed to be extinct and was last seen in 1948, but it is the Kashmir musk deer, and they're about 2 feet tall, but they have fangs and no horns. Now, I ran across a legend not too long ago that said that back in the early history or prehistoric history, the rabbits and the deer used to share horns and so forth. Of course, that's not likely to happen, but that is an old legend and lore. But sometimes things have a little bit of a touch of truth to them. So can there be genetic defects that would cause deer to have fangs and rabbits to have horns? It's a good possibility. So to get a better understanding of what we're talking about, we need to know exactly what a typical jackrabbit may look like. They are a hare, and they're usually a brownish color with maybe some black streaks in them and so forth. and they usually get about 2 feet tall and weigh as much as 9 pounds. Now, this is a pretty good sized rabbit, and this information is based on the National Geographic article on jackrabbits. So now we know about what they are generally like. They have very large ears, and this is basically to help them protect themselves from approaching coyotes and predators. Now, just recently I was listening to a coast-to-coast program who had one of my favorite Four Corners researchers, J.C. Johnson, on it. And he has a unique perspective of the Four Corners area and Bigfoot and other cryptids, because he's there on the reservation quite often. And he understands the Native Americans, and he probably is one of the best sources of what's going on in the Indian reservation up there. So I was listening to him talk about various cryptids that he has run into in the Four Corners area. Now, a lot of people don't realize where the Four Corners is. That's the area where Arizona, Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico meet. So it's the only place in the United States where you can actually go stand in the Four Corners and be in 4 states at one time. Anyway, he was talking about these large rabbits that have been appearing at the different homes of the sheep herders and livestock growers on the reservation. And usually what happens is they're at home, they'll hear a knocking at the door, and they'll go to answer the door, and of course they usually have a peephole or a window or something like that they can look out of before they open the door, because they are in a very rural area and it's dangerous just to yank the door open and see what's there. So they peek out, and here's this big giant rabbit staring them in the face. So, you know, I don't know what happens if they open the door or whatever, and these could be skinwalkers, or they could be giant rabbits or spiritual in nature. I don't know. I don't know enough. I would really like to sit down and talk to J.C. Johnson about this a little bit further in detail. Now, this brings up the subject of skinwalkers. What specifically are skinwalkers? Well, basically, they are medicine men that practice on the dark side of the arts. From what I understand, they're not very good people. And basically, they do potions and so forth, and they cast spells, and they are not real good people. In order to become a skinwalker, they have to do a very dastardly deed of killing someone. And anyway, they do wear skins of animals and so forth. They are said to be able to transform into whatever animal that the skins that they're wearing. So, you know, if it's a giant jackrabbit, it could be somebody that is dressed up in a jackrabbit outfit. Now, it may not be that it's a costume. It may be that it's a hallucination. From what I understand is these guys can mix up powders and so forth that they can blow in your face that will absolutely take away any willpower that you might have, and therefore you're very suggestible. And if they say, come walk with me, and they walk with, and you go with them, they could walk you over and walk you off a cliff, or, you know, out in the desert and let you die. But they could do that, or they could give you the suggestion that they are a rabbit talking to you, or a coyote, or a wolf. And a lot of the typical pictures or descriptions of the skinwalker, they're wearing coyote or wolf furs, but they can do it as a bear, they can do it as anything. So is it a possibility that these giant jackrabbits that are in the reservation out there could be a skinwalker? We don't know. Don't know enough information about them, and I don't really want to tangle with a skinwalker. I don't want to get close to them, don't want to talk to them, especially don't want to get powder blown in my face. So again, why are we interested in giant jackrabbits, jackalopes, skinwalkers, and so forth? Well, that brings us back around to the investigations that we've been doing there at the Shoal trailer. The knockings on the side of the trailer, and the owner jumps out and runs around to see what they are, and there's nothing there. That could be a bad thing. But it also takes us back to the investigation where I stayed there overnight, and during the night I heard voices outside the trailer. I couldn't tell what it was. To me, it sounded like Navajo. The next morning, I found 3 different sized sets of human-looking footprints, size 9, 10, and 11 inches long, in the soft dirt over towards the water tower. These were barefoot, and of course, this area is not real conducive to walking around barefoot. It's got stickers and thorns and lava rock and stuff like that. So if you're in the soft dirt, it's okay, but you get off on the rocks and stuff, it'll cut your bottom of your feet up really bad. So what's the possibility? Do we have some skinwalkers from the reservation basically harassing the people in this area? Because it's not only started at the trailer, it's now moved off to other neighbors that are in the area. So this could be some kind of territorial ploy to get the white man to move off. Anyway, we don't know. It is a mystery, and we'll continue to follow it.